So, I found out today that Carol's really mad that I have no sense of direction. So, unfortunately, I've had to pack up my stuff and write. Think about it. I had no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and write.
God!
Oh. Yeah, I know. It's not the strongest week this week.
Really?
Carol also said that I had to get fit and I should do lunges to stay in shape. And I said to myself, that's a big step forward. And finally, we're reviewing Studio666 this week, and I looked up the fact that, Foo Fighters have a very specific request for when they go and buy new houses. They have to have the best of views. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to Black Dog 164.
As a Foo Fighters fan, I'm weeping right now. I really am, and I'm sure Dave will be on the phone soon, wanting royalties for that, just because. No, yeah. Man, you cross the line,
and we'll be paying ever more. Anyway, yeah. Right.
Oh, ever long.
I know.
Oh man.
Actually, I think you'll find it's ever long.
Yes. Push the glasses.
Would
up.
you be referring to the acoustic live version, or would you be referring to the original recording?
I don't know. I could also be referring to the Foo Fighters' favourite dog, which is Dave Growl. Anyway, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog 164, where comedy comes to die. I'm Lee.
I'm fucking Darren. Hey, Pearl Jam high five, motherfuckers.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Go on.
I'm Jim.
There you go.
I have no energy now.
And you're spent.
Good night, everyone. Anyway, we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been or not, depending on how it's gone. And then we'll be on to any feedback, if there was any feedback at all, for last week's movie, which was Toy Soldiers. You lie. Is there any feedback? You lie. I don't believe you. You lie. But we'll get onto that. And then finally we'll be on to reviewing this week's movie, which is your choice, Darren, which was?
Studio666.
Indeed. And just for a little bit of double jeopardy for you out there, I've told everyone that I've got a good film to pick for this week, but everyone seems so shocked at me choosing the good film. I haven't told them what the film is, but they've all been so shocked that I feel like I may have to veer towards my bad film, which I had as a backup.
No.
It's fine. You can stick with the good one. Yep.
Yeah, you sure?
Yep.
I'm not sure it's even good because I haven't seen it since 1975, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get on with this week's How's Your Week? Stick to the script, stick to the format. Come on, bring it back on. Energy, people, energy. So let's start with you, Jim. How's it been?
Not too bad. Still fighting the stupid lung infection. Had a chest X-ray this morning. That was good.
Nice.
So the dedicated lung nurses who were assigned to me when I got lung cancer were in touch about this infection. They said, "Oh, we booked you in for an X-ray," and they actually have a new system for this now. It's kind of they basically contact the X-ray department in your local hospital saying this chap needs an X-ray, and basically I could go any time down. I like this week. Just drop in and we'll do it.
Nice.
Wow.
And it's like appointment or anything like that, and they kind of that works really well.
Wow.
So it was down first thing this morning, 7 minutes wait, in, out, done. Brilliant.
Nice.
And it's kind of I like that. So that's really what a good idea. Well done, NHS. Thank you. That's superb. But a lot quicker than sort of having an appointment that has to be sent out to you and and then you find it's not convenient or whatever. So yeah, that was really good. I was pleased with that.
Nice. That's good.
I also got a very, very important looking letter through the post.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know what God smiled on me, but I got this exclusive offer. It sounds just too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's kind of, for the first time in gold sovereign history, St. George is replaced by the monarch on a new coin to mark King Charles III's first 500 regnal days.
Right.
And this is a bargain at just £69,
Nice.
saving 80 quid plus £4.99 payment and packing from Hattons
Jim.
of London.
I know you've often talked about how much you've wanted a sovereign that you've missed your child in the past, and this must be quite a relief.
Well, this is clearly a quality item. I will put the link to the actual online site, which is offering. I mean, they're just offering the peasant version because I am a peasant. There's like a big one, like a double-sized sovereign that's over £1,000.
So,
but look at the quality workmanship here.
oh god,
Here
we go.
It's going all QVC all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, you're saying you're getting a sovereign of the sovereign?
Apparently, yes.
God.
Fabulous.
Okay. Hold on. I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm going to buy the big one and just turn it into a big ring. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear that. That'll be me sovereign
Properly
ring.
classy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go proper classy. Yeah.
Hang
I'm
on.
classy, me. What's?
Well, wait till you see it, because I mean, when I actually saw they sent me hundreds of like pictures of it with Davis leaflets, and put it this way, I wouldn't have picked King Charles out in an identity parade from this.
I thought you were going to say about the one that was in the news about blooming George Michael.
Oh no! This is nearly as good.
Because I was saying to Carol the other
There
day.
we are. It's going through now.
Yeah.
What a quality piece of workmanship we've got here. Let's have a look at this, shall we? So we have a King Charles Dragon Gold Sovereign, which is
What's he
24 carat gold here. Of course,
what's he
it's
doing to
got
the dragon?
Charles. It's got Charles on one side, and then him
someone
fucking
didn't
a
tell
dragon on the
Hattons-
other.
Yeah, they didn't tell him that he didn't ride the dragon. He fought it and killed it. They missed the memo here.
It does look like there's a tiny Oompa Loompa in a crown riding on the back of an iguana.
It would be the King
Game
Charles.
of Thrones, isn't it?
It is Game of Thrones. I mean, I'll tell you what, if this turned up in the House of the Dragon, I'd be very disappointed.
So this is the 2024 King Charles, just the tip, Dragon Gold Sovereign.
Isn't that something?
Actually, I was going to say, is it his phallus? Is it
He's
supposed to be
holding his ball in his hand as well. Look.
I mean, you've got the drag. He's got a dragon cock.
That's what he's saying.
It.
It's
Yeah.
a beast. I've got a beast.
He
That's
has
what he talks like,
unleashed
actually.
the dragon.
Yes.
What one doesn't know is one's balls he holds in his hand, and his phallus is a massive dragon. This is
Yes.
what happens. This is what I was really in hospital for.
He's
It
got
wasn't
an
a prostate.
infection. It
wasn't
feels
a-
like it's on fire. Ooh.
It wasn't a prostate exam. It was actually my dragon phallus. Prince Dragon Phallus Charles. I love the fact that it says guaranteed to sell out soon. I think it's sold out already, just by the looks of it. Wow.
Man.
Oh, the website's incredible. It says, if you buy from us, we'll assign you a personal account manager who will advise you on future purchases. I bet you fucking will.
Oh my
Saying.
giddy fucking arm. How much?
Like this is going to be worth fucking tuppence, even to coin collectors. I
Yeah.
do not believe a word of it.
Oh,
I think these are
Lord.
massive scam merchants.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, but you know what? Michael Burke does the adverts for these guys.
Michael Burke.
See, working from home means that I get to hear my mum on listening to the telly, and Michael Burke saying, "These will sell out very quickly, so you must buy soon." And it's like £69 for a sliver of copper tin and a chocolate coin that your family will treasure for minutes.
Oh, man.
Wow. So why? Look, even like in the
Fucking chocolate coin. I could just see that you get. It's like, what's this edging?
What's this
Oh,
500-day regnal milestone? I mean, who is keeping track of this? The coronation, yes, I can understand, but like 500 days in,
He's
how
making
many
out
of
as he
these you
goes
doing?
along.
Next month be like 550 days and
Yeah.
600 days.
I love the fact that it's VAT exempt. I mean, it's like, who's going
know,
to claim
well,
VAT on it?
Can you spend it on anything?
The design is by accomplished artist Jody Clark, who also designed the portrait of King Charles III on the Obverse.
King Charles III, this time it's war.
King Charles III, my penis is a dragon. Dragon Cock King. That's the sequel. That's the sequel to House
Isn't
of
that a
the
song by Jimmy fucking Nail? Dragon Cock King, Dragon Cock King. You're going to need to change those lyrics, Jimmy. Oh, but like, you know,
Oh,
this sounds really good when I sing it like that.
what about crocodile shoes?
Oh. I forgot the other thing.
Oh, God.
In this band of shite that said,
Yeah.
apply within 7 days, and this book, a survey of 1,000 years of coin productions in Britain, worth $19.95, can be yours absolutely free.
Fuck me. Get on it,
And
Jim.
a book called From Hammers to Hydraulics.
Wow.
What?
That sounds...
I feel slightly aroused by that title. I really
It
do, and I don't know why.
It sounds amazing.
Not available in any shop.
You can't buy this in
You
the
fucking
shops.
shysters.
Nobody
Buying
will.
this shit.
Of course, it won't be in the shop. Nobody fucking like. Who in their right mind would have a stroke in to the degree that they'd
well.
buy that? It's like
Who wouldn't want to stroke themselves? Oh no, not that kind of. Sorry, I've misread this. Yeah.
I've got I can smell burning toast. The best thing I do is spend 2,500 quid on a chocolate coin with a penis dragon King Charles.
Look at my beast.
You should look at some of the other things they do, like
Oh.
a 4-sided sovereign silver jubilee coin.
Four-sided sovereign, isn't
You mean a coin that isn't a coin that's a fucking square?
Four-sided sovereign.
It's awful.
it's you mean it's the shit that they just oh my giddy
How do
arm.
you get a four-sided? Is it using like TARDIS technology or something like that? Is that what it is? Is it on a different plane of existence?
multi-dimensional. Oh,
Fucking hell.
I tell you what, I do love this image. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to stick this in because this is brilliant. The image of the one to commemorate the four ages of the Queen. Yeah, and you have a look at that picture.
Oh, yes, I saw this.
Right, hold on. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this.
It's like
What's this? The 4 ages of the Queen.
yeah. It's like
We've
four
got,
sovereigns.
Lady Penelope,
Yeah,
Miss Marple, and Nanny Og.
Well, actually, I was going to say the last one looks like modern era Tom Baker in sort of Doctor Who
does?
gear. modern Tom Baker turned up in his Doctor Who costume at a convention.
God, they're awful, aren't they?
Tom Willant, you know.
Wow.
They're not just awful. If the monarchy ever seen this, the word treasonous might be floated.
Yep, I think so. I mean, the fact that like Prince Charles looks like Charles Hawtrey from fucking Carry On movies is quite beyond me. I don't know how they managed that. But oh, little pearl glasses. That's all he needs. Little pearly glasses. Well, that's quite something, Jim.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's it. I think we should all club together
Wow.
and get one. Keep it as our
Wow. Yeah, we could have turns in looking after it.
yeah.
You know?
That's
This is
it.
it. Could
Pass it around.
timeshare.
Yeah, pass it around to all our listeners. Everyone gets 5 minutes with it, and whoever and if you cash it in, the money's got to be spread out amongst all the other listeners. I bet we'd have almost like 3.5 pence. I
Oh,
think we'd do
man.
quite well. Mm.
Yeah, I think so. What's this shit made of? Exactly.
Chocolate and tinfoil.
Chocolate. It's chocolate and tinfoil. It is definitely chocolate and tinfoil.
It is.
I want to
There's
get
no
something
choice.
out of this, even if it's like, just a bit of a chocolate hit.
Nice.
It's,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
That last one, that last
That
age,
Queen one.
that last Queen
Yeah.
age. I don't. It's like her eyes. It's like you get in those murder films where the victim is like pointing at a thing, and they were he wasn't just laying in a position; he was pointing at a book over there, which has got a clue to the identity of the killer.
Yes.
Or he's written like an A in blood. That's what it looks like she's trying to do. She's trying to direct my gaze to something.
She's got the same expression on her face that my parents have when I try to explain my job to them.
Yes, of course.
kind of-
Yes, we believe you. Yes.
Yeah. Is that yeah, that's lovely.
That's lovely.
That's fantastic.
Can I have a cup of tea?
Yes, that's great. Well, thank you for that, Jim. That's spectacular work.
What an incredible bit of post. I feel so honoured and lucky they singled me out to try and fleece me. I mean, offer me this marvellous.
Oh, I've got to see if I've got
Timeless
if I've got any interesting posts now. Hold on. Let's have a
Oh,
look.
good Lord. Oh, God. What,
Gold envelope.
what have you started, Jim? What have you started? Oh, have you been invited to a chocolate
Junk mail
factory?
corner.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Steady on, lads. Steady on. Worries are over.
Yeah, go
I've
on.
got a gold envelope here. It's got my postcode on the front of it, and
Yeah.
it's got get this 17.8 million quid on the front. Right,
Has it?
will be won in our March draws. Right,
Mm.
and it's like it's addressed to me, so it's saying that I'm going to win this. Don't worry, I'll sort you all out. Right, I'll look after you. Okay.
Doubt.
Uh,
I'm going to just...
good things come a knocking.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it says on the back.
Like death and, the tax man.
Yes.
Yes? Right.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'll save that till later then. In that case.
I think so. I think you best save that until the green room, and then you can open it up, and either this podcast goes
Yes.
out or it doesn't.
Yes.
Because we've all left and cashed in on your good fortune. So if you can
Indeed.
if you're listening to this and you hear the review, follow it, then
Yeah.
you know that there's nothing in his fucking envelope. At
But
all.
if you find there's a bit of a, shall we say, delay in getting the next podcast, then you'll know that maybe we came up trumps on this one.
Yeah, if it's delivered, if you can hear the Bahamas in the background, you know that we've moved on.
Yes, we'll be sitting on a beach earning 20%.
Yes. Have faith, Theo. You ask for a medical, I give you the FBI. Anyway. All right then, Jim. Well, thanks for that. Now that we've got junk mail corner as a thing, I'm sure that won't come and backfire and shoot us in the arse anytime soon. Brilliant. So great. Okay, well then we'll move on to you then, Elton. What's going on, sir?
I am donating all my time over to Darren. I have nothing
Really?
for this week. Yes.
Oh, no pressure to me then, of course.
You are
know.
bereft. You are bereft of information.
Yeah.
Nothing at all, Elton.
No. Nout.
No interesting toilet trips or anything like that you've got to tell us about. No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Nothing.
Oh, well, I don't feel the weight of expectation on my shoulders at all. Okay.
Just pretend Elton's talking. You can just interrupt.
Yes, Elton. Yes. Yes. Ah, what's that? Spotted rubber pants? Oh, Chief? Yes.
I find
Yes.
talcum powder works perfectly for that.
It does indeed. Yes.
Anyway. So, yeah, let's just pretend we just cut and just go. And so enough of Elton's rubber pants problems. Let's move on to you, Darren.
Yes. Let's. Well, after that, I don't know. I think we might need to take a short albatross break so I can just pull myself together.
Like Elton's rubber pants.
Like Elton's rubber pants. Yeah. Oh.
They zip up at the back, don't you know? Anyway,
I'll tell you, the description of his adventures in his rubber pants was so kind of intense.
Vivid.
I feel as though I can actually smell those rubber pants from here.
Yeah. Vivid,
Yeah.
intense sexual imagery.
Exactly, yes.
See, this is like I had a story to say. Yeah.
Like that, like
Here you
those
are.
gold coins. I am both aroused and frightened.
Just waffling over my time. It's fine.
It's tradition, Elton. Tradition.
Look, man, you bring up rubber neoprene pants and cover them in talcum powder, and you expect us to just let it drop?
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
come on.
I'll let them drop.
No, don't. No.
Steady, steady.
Prepares mind bleach. There we go.
Anyway,
Behold my rubber bung. No.
right. So, Darren, how's your
Yes.
week been then?
I'm going to say cue the music. 'Cause,
Okay.
my thing this week is relevant to the music.
Mhm.
Of course, what you are listening to, ladies and gentlemen, is I do believe it's Unexpected Journey, isn't it? From
yes.
The Hobbit.
No. Fucking Fellowship
Lord
of the Ring.
Fellowship of the Ring. Oh, well, this is even more relevant. Of course it is.
As if
Motherfucker.
they weren't
So-
expecting a fucking journey.
Well, much like...
Here's a ring. Go put it in that volcano way over
Yes.
there. Oh,
Yes.
how do we
No,
do
over
that?
there, over there.
Journey. Journey over there. Oh, okay.
I was thinking of calling an Uber.
I've got a... I need you to do me a favour, Bilbo. Oh, Frodo. Yeah, yes, what's that? What would you like me to do? Right, well, you see that big fuck-off volcano over there? I want you to go drop my ring in it. What? No, this gold ring here. Put it in the Oh, I thought you meant... No, I didn't mean that ring. I meant this ring here. Concentrate, Frodo, concentrate.
You must grab my staff.
Grab hold of my long, gnarly staff. Yes. The one with the big twisted end on it.
I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll
Lick it like
you
a
lick the
lollipop. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Go ahead. Don't you stop.
It did. So,
Yes.
yes, pretty much like an unexpected journey. We
Yeah.
got tickets given to us to go and see the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now,
Right.
I thought this was only going to be like the cinematic releases. I thought, yeah, sure, not a problem. We'll go and see him again. But
Yeah.
no, these were the extended 4K versions
Right.
we went to see.
Yes.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm still speaking to you. Yes, I am. We're just coming to the end of the first film. I've been here since Saturday morning at 10:30. I think we're coming to the end of it.
He's just made the second batch of lambda bread, and we.
Yes,
we
I have, yes.
Just
Is Sean Bean still alive?
Sean Bean is not alive. Sean Bean has died. Yes,
He's still dying.
he's still dying.
He's down. He's down to his 15th arrow.
He
in his
keeps
back.
going on about do something today or something. I don't know.
Yorkshire tea.
Oh,
He's on
oh,
about
two.
Yorkshire tea.
Oh, do something today.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
yes, myself and Dree packed ourselves off to Woking to go and see this trilogy, and wow, 12 and a half hours we were sat in the fucking for most of it for in the cinema in darkness watching small people. Yeah, I know it's getting a bit Jimmy Savile, but,
again, isn't it?
exactly, yes, it is.
I was gonna say at this point, you sure you didn't just go? No, never mind. Sorry.
But you know what? I've got to say,
Okay. Yeah.
it actually made me like the second film a
Yeah.
lot more than I liked it originally.
Oh,
'Cause
crescendo.
See, revelation.
Yeah.
Indeed, it is. There we go.
Right. Yeah. Go on,
But,
carry on.
so, first film, I still really like,
Yeah.
even with the added however many minutes it was on the end of it.
65.
Second film, 65. There you go.
I'm joking.
the second film, still, good, better on this viewing than it was before, right? But one film you don't need an extended version of is the third one, right? The Return of the King. Thank you very much. You really don't need an extended version of it. Because I'll tell you what it consists of, right? Now, if there's people out there who are listening to this and they've never seen
the film that's 20 years old.
Yeah, one that's 20 years old, then stop listening for the next 5 or 6 minutes, all right? I'll tell you what it consists of, right? It starts really kind of just dragging itself out just a little bit. Because you get near the end, right? I mean, never have two great big battles in the same film, is what I'm going to say now, right? So they have this massive battle that this, I don't know, Tierno or whatever the fuck it was called. This big
Tierno, that's a fucking game on the Spectrum, you buffoon.
I know it is. I can't remember. Tiernas, whatever. I can hear 1,000 fucking... Minas Tirith. That's the one. Yes, Minas Tirith. Yes. Mini Driver, that one.
Mini
Minas
Cooper
Tirith.
Countryman.
Indeed, right? So, you watch that and it's like, oh, big build-up, massive battle, lots of people dying, right? But then they decide to go and have another one.
Yes.
Okay, they're like, oh yes, let's go and I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll ring the doorbell, right? So the old man Sauron comes to the door here and doesn't look at what's going on behind him. So fucking Frodo and Samwise Gamgee can get to where they need to be at Mount Doom, right? So it gets to these two trying to get to Mount Doom, and you see them about an hour before the film ends. They're like about 20 foot from the door, and you've got Sam going, come on, Mr. Frodo, we've got to get to the door, he's just there, we can do it, honest. And it cuts back to this battle where you've got, like, the rest of the characters all lined up with this other slightly large army, not as big as the one they had before, but outside the gates of fucking Mordor. Okay, so they managed to get the attention of the people on the other side, right? Okay, and the enemy spills out, and you see it surround their quite tiny army. Okay, so they start fighting, and there's like fighting for 10 minutes, and then it cuts back to fucking Sam and Frodo, and they've moved about 3 inches. And he's like, come on, Master Frodo, it's just over there, we can make it. So again, disappears for another 10 minutes.
I'll fly the drone and distract him.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So
I will throw the...
Potatoes! He said, yeah, potatoes! Everybody laughed at that in the cinema, by the way, when he said that. It's just like, it's that thing.
Potatoes!
So again, it cuts away to the battle, right? And there's like, it's still trying to fill in time by having them doing lots of slow-mo shots and stuff. Cuts back to, and they've moved another 3 inches. Okay, because Frodo is literally on his last legs. Then fucking Gollum turns up. And they have a punch up for a little while, right? Okay, and so Sam is literally dragging fucking Frodo to the thing. And again, it cuts away another 10 minutes, comes back to him. They've moved another 3 inches. And then it's like Frodo suddenly goes, fuck it. And he turns into Usain Bolt and he just goes for it. And it's like, so that just, you being carried was just complete and utter bullshit then. You could have traversed this distance within 2 seconds flat.
Yes.
So that's what you get, right? So you get him going in, and this is where you start to see that the effects team were just getting a bit fucked off with everything. Okay, because you see Frodo.
Bring in the Eagles.
So what they do is they kind of just run out of inspiration, and they use the old parallax scrolling trick from the ZX Spectrum, right? Because you could tell it's like the speed that Frodo is actually moving doesn't match the way the ground moves underneath him, and it's literally like he's gliding as he goes in.
Right, is he on a carousel or something?
It looks like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the work that went into these films. I really do. And you can still see a lot of it, right? I'd say about 90% of it still stands up really, really well. But then you've got another 10 minutes or another half an hour of them being inside Mount Doom with Samwise trying to convince Frodo not to turn evil because he decides to let the ring get the better of him. Then Gollum shows up again. There's another fucking punch up. And it's just that for like a fucking full hour. And everybody in the audience, you could just like, oh, fucking hell, is this going to end anytime soon? And then it did that thing again where they finally get the ring chucked into the volcano. And it's that whole thing of doing the fade. Oh, sorry. And then it just does that. It keeps, and I've forgotten about this, the fact that it kept fading. And then sucking, and you're just about to get up off your seat because you're like, oh, thank fuck for that. And, oh, no, fuck it. No, it's still going. Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's kind of like a prog rock song.
Indeed.
What you think? You're like, drum crash. That's the end. Then no, another end and another end.
And
Rick Wakeman's gone off again. He's off.
Indeed.
He's off on the keyboard.
Now at this point, you think to yourself, "Oh, it's getting near the end, right? Okay, we're going to be done and dusted." I think we still had 25 minutes left on the film to go. It's like, what the fuck are you going to? What is going to happen after this? So it then really lays on the extended sequences because you get to see everything, like them, what happens to them afterwards. They go back, they do this, that, and the other. In the book, of course, it's a little bit more interesting because they go back to the Shire and they realise it's all been industrialised, right? No, it is. They go back and they have to fight Saruman, right? But they've already dealt with Saruman, of course. So it's just them going back, having a beer, going down to Tesco's for a shop, I don't know, running a bath, drinking some tea, and it just kind of dwindles.
Stuff and shit.
So you don't need an extended third film because I'm pretty sure Peter Jackson looked at the footage he had left and went, "Oh, I can't make another 4-hour extended version out of that. What the fuck am I going to do? I'll film some extra bits.
Yeah, I'll just film behind the scenes when they're just sitting in the green room, and then get wetter digital. You just put some hills in the background.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's what I'll do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lee, please tell me your choice this week is Fellowship of the Rings.
No, it's Return of the King. What are you talking about?
Oh, fuck me. No. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with Lord of the Rings now. I don't need to watch it ever again.
Right.
I really don't. I mean, maybe the first or the second film, but you can be fucked if you think I'm going back for Return of the King again. Fuck that bollocks.
Okay. Right. Oh, well, I'll just scrub that off the list then.
Yeah, take it off the list. They now follows a short interval.
While I go through all my
list. Fuck, what am I going to choose? Fuck.
Fucking roll paper going up in the air. Oh, right. Okay. So you spent nearly 24 hours in Middle-earth.
Nearly 20. No, well, half of that time in Middle-earth.
I know.
Like I say, in all seriousness, no, the first two films, yeah, I actually really sat and enjoyed the pair of them.
What time did you get into the cinema?
We went in there for 10 o'clock in the
6
morning.
6 a.m.
No, it was 10 o'clock we started, and we got out, no joke, just after 11 at night.
Wow.
Did you come out and go, oh, when it's dark?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I did, yeah. Oh, when it's dark! Listen, wow, it's like they planned it so that we wouldn't hurt our eyes when we got out of a darkened room. It's like how thoughtful of them.
Oh, good
I'm
Lord.
not getting blinded by sunlight. This is great.
Blinded
Wonderful.
by the light.
Wreck up like a douche, another Rona in the night.
Exactly. Yeah. I think sentiments we can all agree on.
Oh yeah. Very much so.
So
yeah.
So you haven't done anything else this week because that
was all. Yeah, that was it.
That took
up. That was all week. Yes. No, I'm still here. The third film still hasn't ended. We'll let you. I'll report back to the office as soon as there are any changes in the situation here. But yeah, police have brought in negotiators now for our release.
It's now Stockholm Syndrome, the movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, I don't need to do any of those films. Well, I don't need to do the third one again. I'll do the 1 and 2, but no, fuck number 3.
Okay. I'll just scrub that off my list.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Cool. Okay. Anything else, sir?
No.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yours is the most eventful of the weeks because I've done absolutely sweet Fanny Adams. I've done absolutely nothing. I've got two games that I played, and I think that's about it. One is the big one, which is Helldivers 2, which is the funniest.
Helldivers 2.
What? How was it?
How was Muff? I said, how was Muff? I mean, Helldivers 2.
Yeah, easy, steady. Well, actually, quite easy. Actually, I think of
super easy, barely.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, Helldivers 2 is basically this, right? You get people online. You all get on your spaceship because you name your spaceship and whatever, and it's basically Starship Troopers. And what happens is you load up. And you all land on the ground, and you all go, help me, running around in circles while things kill you. Chaos ensues, limbs fly everywhere. People go, no, you fucker, don't shoot me! Ah! And then the game ends. That's basically it. While the music's going, dun, 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 dun. Here's something for democracy, sort of thing. And it's got the tone and the vibe of Starship Troopers. The funniest thing is the interluding videos. You should watch the intro to Helldivers 2, which is a video of a man going, hey, you've got to join up with the Helldivers, otherwise this might happen to your family. And you see this guy get out of a cab, and he looks, and his family is like there, and then all of a sudden this bug just comes along and tears them to pieces. And he's like, no! And it's like, could that happen to you? In which case you want to join the Helldivers. So it's very cheesy. But it relies heavily. It relies heavily on communication and working together with strangers.
Balls to that.
No, but everyone in it, strangers included, have all been brilliant. I am the most cynical person when it comes to multiplayer games, but this is a good community because you either get people who are really into it or people who understand that you're completely new to it. and yeah, there's the weaponry is comedically stupid. I mean, you can call down like nuclear airstrikes, and you sort of throw it down, and there's like a little flare goes up, and you kind of because you literally got a Star Destroyer hanging above you in orbit. And you've got on the ground, you've got hundreds of bugs coming out of bug holes, and there's like one mission that says, "I'll blow up a queen" or something like that. And the idea is you throw a marker, and the Star Destroyer will nuke the marker from orbit. The funny bit is when you're all standing there in a team, and you're all firing out into the hordes of aliens that are all coming out of this bug hole. And then someone goes, "I threw the nuke," and because the sound is kind of audibly distant thing, so basically if you're too far away from people, the voice kind of goes sort of thing, whereas if you're up close it's kind of very clear.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like that, and all of a sudden one of your teammates near you goes, "Oh fuck, there's a flare," and you can hear doot 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 doot, and everyone's fucking pegging it across the field. And literally it's like Hiroshima just goes up behind you. It fills the screen, the sunlight turns dark. I mean, everything just goes up, and it goes boom. And you can hear, "You might die, but don't worry, you've brought democracy to this bug hole." It's like, fuck! And the whole screen's rumbling. Everyone's crying. Everyone's running around in circles. And friendly fire's always on as well, so it's intensely amusing.
Oh,
so
God.
Yeah, so it is chaos personified. That's Helldivers 2. I've played it once over the weekend on my own, once with Jess, and then once with a group of randos, and it's great fun all the time. So if you got a chance to get it, because it is good fun. But just know that you're just going to have to talk to real people, otherwise you're not going to last. The other game.
What have you got it on? You got it on the PlayStation?
PlayStation, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other game I played was House Safety Hotline. Right?
What?
House Safety Hotline, which is on Steam.
Okay.
And to cut a long story short,
Go straight to Steam.
right? So get this, right? It's a very cheap game, and it looks very cheap. And it's like you are a call center person at a helpline for house safety. That's your job.
Does exactly what it says on the tin, really, doesn't it?
Yes. So what happens is you've got a database of problems you can solve, and you have to listen to the calls coming in that are all voiced. The calls come in, they tell you what's going on in their house, and you have to look through the list of your solutions and go, yeah, you know what? That's the right answer, and send it to them. If you send them the wrong one, obviously things start to turn. But it starts off with things like, oh, I can hear scuttling in my roof. And you go, oh, all right, okay, look through the list. And there's someone going, and then you sort of look through the list and you go, that sounds like rats. So you send them the helpline for rats. And then there's someone going, so by about a week of it, you do it through the days. And then by about a week into it, someone who said there was scuttling in the roof is going, I can't remember my wife's face. I can't remember my wife's face. Why can't I remember my wife's face? What's going on? And it turns into this horror situation of basically the town that you're the insurance group for is slowly being subsumed by Lovecraftian horrors and eldritch gods and
beautiful
undersea creatures from beyond the universe. It starts off with like, oh yeah, you might have ants in your patio, and then by the end of it, you're looking through filing systems, going, no, that does look like a 5th level demon trying to possess your child and take over your dimensional realm.
What's this called?
It's called House Safety Hotline. And it looks like a sort of like a Windows 95 screen. And it's just
I love stuff like that.
And it's really retro, and it's really slow going. But by the time you've sort of got like someone saying that and it's like the fucking it's like the shit log from the Event Horizon coming through your headphones. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'll just hold, please. Look through the file. If the person's speech is garbled, sounds like it comes from a nether realm full of demons, you might need to send them there. Wow. It's hilarious, but it is actually quite terrifying as well, especially if you play it on your own and doing it like you're a remote caller. It's because you're not dealing with anything. You can only go by what you're hearing these people say. It's
oh man, yeah, I can see it now. I'm looking through it on Steam, and it's.
I've added that to my wish list.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric. It's very cheesy and very cheap.
It's only $12.79 on Steam.
Yeah, but it's got something about it. It's got something really old school retro where you're not doing any talking. You're literally just sifting through the files. But the thing is, obviously, if you give them the wrong advice, things get worse, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So when someone says, oh, there's big piles of brown shit in my garden, and you go, oh, yeah, that's quite clearly a mole. And actually, no, it wasn't a mole. And they're being devoured by man-sized cockroaches. It's just like, no, I've made a mistake.
Wonderful.
I've made a terrible, terrible error. So there's a lot of sort of like going through the files and seeing what you've got and what information you get, and all the time you're getting kind of this kind of cheerful call back from your supervisor who's saying, oh, well done, you've taken care of so many people, they're all very happy. And if someone going, my child won't come downstairs, he won't look at me in the same way as he did before. Like, hold please. I'll have a look through this. No, it's not ants. It's not. And there's also loads of audio samples that you can listen to do with things like, oh, is it frozen pipes? Frozen pipes sound like this. And you listen to it. And then you're listening to it, and all of a sudden, as you listen to it, if you turn the volume up, you can hear. You're like, Okay, frozen pipes it might well be, because that doesn't sound like a frozen pipe. That sounds like something's actually hiding in the pipes, actually. I think there might be someone in the house. And it's that sort of thing. Very strange game, but if you're into something a bit indie and a bit out there, it's a nice little experiment. It's quite cool.
That
So there you
sounds
go.
great.
Yeah, so that's it really. I've got nothing other than that. I after last week's movie-ageddon of watching about a dozen movies, I haven't watched diddly shit this week. Well, so there you go. Though I did buy a sweet car online. Previously, it was owned by Neil Diamond. Anyway, right.
God.
Living with a smile, living with a song and a dance. And
Just
now
leave them, okay?
and now we're going to go back to feedback. Yeah, we obviously did do Toy Soldiers last week. You lie with your mouth. Tell them I made a mistake. I did not shoot this boy. Honestly, it was a mistake. But the thing that got a lot of people interested was when I was talking about my week last week. I was mentioning the bloody awful Tropageddon movie, The Accountant, where Ben Affleck played a sort of Rain Man style autistic person who happens to also be a contract killer for the mob, and a super duper assassin. So first off, we got some feedback about that from David Jackala, who does the Inside Outcast and Dark Corner podcast and all that kind of stuff. And he said, I suspect I may have undiagnosed ASD, autism spectrum disorder. And if I dumped a load of paper clips on the floor, I'd more likely have a bout of anxiety over creating a mess than being able to count them all at a glance.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as I was saying, there was lots of tropey sort of things. You know, he was very Rayman.
Yeah.
And Murray Christensen also chimed in saying, I have autistic kids, and to be honest, the term Asperger's, if used by the film Individuals Get a Pass, puts my hackles up because it's such an outdated term. Nowadays, everything is ASD, as further studies reveal it was a different aspect of ASD. It also hints at linear spectrum, the dreaded higher functioning, as it sounds like a 80s depiction of autism. Still probably not as bad as the film made by Sia. I haven't seen that film.
Oh, yeah.
But I did inform him that higher functioning does get cited in the movie.
It does.
And gets used as a not Sia's thing, but in
in this one. Yeah. The higher with the higher functioning, that phrase they use, that's been kind of outmoded now for various reasons. It's it's there's a bit of where the Asperger's thing is concerned as well. It's mainly because of what the condition, or who the condition's named after, and it's a Nazi doctor. So but again, in the community there are those who prefer to be classed as having Asperger's, and there are ones who don't. It's real kind of political when it comes to that. But generally Asperger's has been the actual term. They're outmoded.
Right. Well, if that's the case, I didn't know,
that's fine.
I come from a position of ignorance, but I did have the wherewithal to understand that the accountant was not doing the best job advertising those symptoms and those situations. Meanwhile, the other bit of feedback we had was from Ian Spaceship Stead, who said. Who said, I have this one review for the Stanley Parable, because that was one of the games that was reviewed in our weeks last week. And his review is, the end is never the end, 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 is never the end. He goes on for about a page of this. It's never the end, is never the end. And guess what? The end is never the end, is never. There you go. And then he said, not feedback, but I did have a senior moment because I thought you guys were reviewing this, Small Soldiers, the one about the toys. I've seen this. Forgive me. I blame working from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. and the laudanum. So he had a bit of a night from the sound of it. So there you go. Interestingly, nobody actually sent any feedback about toy soldiers, though. Apart from everyone seemed to glom onto the you lie.
I think that was the best bit about it, really, wasn't it?
Nah, it was all right. It was fine. Apart from
Potatoes.
the that was. But anyway, so there you go. But anyway, if anybody does have any feedback, and has been ably illustrated there by David and Murray and other people there, and Ian's spaceship. So you don't have to just worry about the film. You can talk about the podcast or things that we've talked about. Then by all means jump in on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, or send us an email. He said, hiccuping through that. Send us an email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, and don't forget that on Lettered Box, whatever that fucking site's called, I'm on there as well. Letterboxd/Black Dog Podcast. Right, that's that. I think we'll wrap it up there. And we will be back to get the best review of Studio 666. Roll the jingle. It's not going to be the Foo Fighters. I can't afford that. Right, so Studio 666 is a 2022 American horror comedy film directed by B.J. McDonnell. Yes, really. From a screenplay by Jeff Brewer and Rebecca Hughes, based on a story by Dave Grohl. Grohl stars alongside the rest of his Foo Fighters bandmates Nate Mandel, Pat Smear, Taylor Hawkins, Chris Shiflett, and Ramin Jaffe, Whitley Cummings, Leslie Grossman, Will Forte, Jenna Ortega, and Jeff Garlin. Those last ones weren't in the Foo Fighters. In the film, the Foo Fighters move into a cursed mansion to record a new album, and chaos ensues. Studio 666 is the first non-documentary film to feature the Foo Fighters. The band previously had films. Oh God, this is one of those wikis. Okay, fine. We'll just say they did another thing. They did other things. It had a budget, which it's not revealing the budget. That's interesting. Didn't say how much it cost to make. That doesn't bode well, because how much do you reckon it made at the box office, Jim?
2 million thrown symbols.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Elton.
One broken guitar string.
Twing. Fuck. Yep. And what about you, Dal?
1 bucket of frozen shit and 400 weight of chicken-based fast food items.
Raw meat.
Indeed.
Because you're good on the grill. Yes, actually, no, it didn't. It only earned $3 million, which
really?
doesn't sound like an awful lot, to be honest.
No,
does it? No, it really doesn't.
I don't think it got that much of an actual circulation as a movie either.
Apparently, it did. It got circulation, all right. It was released all over the place, but hey ho, them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah, so as ever, we'll go round the table and do quick one-off reviews, one-line reviews or short reviews without spoilers, and then we'll move on to the main event. Darren, as it was your choice, you go last. So let's go around the table and find out what everyone thought of it, and we'll start with you, Jim. What did you think of Studio 666?
Well, this was my second time around with this movie, and I think I enjoyed it more second time. Once I knew the lie of the land, shall we say?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Cool. What about you, Eldon?
I enjoyed it as a silly afternoon movie.
Okie dokie. Okay, so for me, it was a game of two halves. I liked the characters, I liked the people in it, and I liked the interplay. However, I found the film dragged on way too long, and outstayed its welcome a bit. That was my general vibe. I liked the people in it. The movie sort of kind of trotted to an end a bit took too long. But anyway, what about you, Dal?
I've got to say on with Jim on the front that I enjoyed it more on a second viewing. So this was I actually went to the cinema to see this. But yeah, I actually enjoyed it more this time round. But I've also got to agree with you. It could have been a bit shorter, I think.
Yeah,
just a little bit shorter, maybe
a Barnard.
Yeah, maybe a Barnard shorter.
At least a Barnard, I thought.
Yeah, round about that. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. Right. Well, let's get to it. As ever, we're going to go into the the spoiler zone. If you really don't want to know anything about this film and you just want to watch this film before listening to our review, then by all means stop it right here. Go watch the film. Come on back. If you don't give a shit, then just listen on. But I'm going to do the little warning sign to tell you, for God's sakes, we're going into the spoiler zone. So here we go. Spoiler zone, everyone.
Money plane.
You need shire horses just walking slowly along a field, pulling a plough.
Tetsu Canada.
Right, I think that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
So, yes. So we're now into spoiler zone. So let's start this off, right? Can I ask, was this a comedy or was this a gore fest with comedic elements for you guys? Because the reason I ask is because horror and comedy has to be a bit explicit for me. For some reason, it never quite lands. I went to see Evil Dead 2 with my first girlfriend, and I took her to the cinema to see it, and she laughed all the way through it, and I sat there going, "No, you must be scared because it is a scary thing." And it wasn't until I watched it a second time going, "Oh, it was a comedy. It's a fucking Looney Tunes film, wasn't it?" So
yeah,
over to you guys. What do you think it is? Is it a horror film? Is it a comedy film? Or is it something in the middle? Because I was a little on. It didn't tonally land for me. So I was just wondering what you guys thought. So, Darren.
Well, do you want to give them to me last? Because I have many thoughts.
Okay, right, fair enough. In which case, then Darren, away with you, sir.
I'm going to try and be as objective as possible where this is concerned.
I was going to say, you
know,
are fanboy?
I am. I'm kind of fanboy. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not like every single track they've done is magic. That's not the case with me at all. I know the good from bad where these are concerned, but it's just, I don't know. These have been wrapped up in quite the Foo Fighters has been there throughout, quite a portion of my life. And I've listened to a lot of their music quite a lot. And I've read more about them than I thought I did.
Okay.
It's that whole thing of reading about 2 or 3 biographies of Dave Grohl and stuff that he's written, and picking up things and knowing certain things that happened and realizing how ironic that this film actually exists anyway, where he's concerned. And I'll explain that. In fact, do you want to tell you that now?
I was going to say that might get round to another thing.
that's a piece of trivia where just him and actors are concerned. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But,
I was
we'll
going
come
to say,
back to that later. We'll come back to that
because
later.
that leads to a question I was going to ask later. But yeah, go on, go.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Go on.
But yeah, where the tone is concerned, yeah, I think sometimes it didn't know. I don't know. I think it's more comedy than it's. I think it is more in the comedy horror thing with this. I mean, it does sometimes seem like it's going to lose its way, but then they drop in a bit of humour to try and bring it back on track again. If you know what I mean. But I think the first time I saw it, it was kind of like, did they know where this was, what direction they wanted to take this in? Did they want it as pure horror, or did they want it as horror comedy, or did they want it as just comedy? Because there are generally funny bits in it, especially a certain cameo that just fucking hits you in the face. Yeah.
Hello.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Lionel. I'll never look at him the same way again.
My fucking song, nerd.
Exactly. I've seen an angry Lionel Richie. This is just rocked my world now. He's no longer easy listening, Lionel Richie.
No.
This is fuck you up, motherfucker. Lionel Richie. So yeah, I think sometimes it might have struggled a little bit with what it was trying to be, and it's almost as if somebody went, "Oh, quick, put a bit of comedy in, just to bring it back on track." Yeah. I mean, thankfully, the bits that it did do, which was supposed to be funny, I thought actually were. I had a bit of a chuckle about quite a bit of it. So yeah, I think mainly it was supposed to be a horror comedy. But I don't think it was a horror comedy on the same level as something like Shaun of the Dead, which knows it's a horror comedy and stuck to that, stuck to its guns. Yeah. I think it's like having dodgy tracking on the wheels of a car, and it starts drifting into another lane. And then it's like, oh, fuck, no, pull it back over here. So, sometimes it has to be, you can feel somebody putting their hand there and trying to guide it back.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Elton? What did you think about it?
I definitely think it is comedy.
Right.
Not saying that I found it overly funny or anything like that, but I think the basis of this is to have humor all the way through, because a lot of the horror is comedic. A lot of it is. The deaths are comedic. It's all played for laughs, even to the point where it does feel a bit like flipping hell, I can't remember the actual name of the band. What's the mockumentary?
Spinal
Tap. Yeah, where it's touching on that. And this is a group of guys that haven't like 3 days training on acting.
Yeah, if that.
But they know that. The thing is, the film knows that. And I think it uses it well. It doesn't dwell on it too much. So I think it, first and foremost, it is comedy. But then it's got the gore floating around. It's comedy covered in gore. There we go. It's the only way I can actually describe it.
Okay.
I don't think
there is a phrase for what you're trying to describe. It's called splatstick humor.
Oh, is it?
There you go.
Okay.
Evil Dead, Bad Taste, the early Peter Jacksons, Reanimator is what we call splatstick humor.
Yeah.
Basically, slapstick with splatter.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But what were you going to just finish up, Elton? What were you going to say? You were done.
I think I was there. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So go on then, Jim. You have the floor.
Right, with these sort of films, it's kind of comedy horror, but there's also horror comedy. And I think when you're weighing these things up, you've got to decide: is this a horror film with funny bits? and a sense of humour, or is this a comedy movie? Playing with the humor, or is this a comedy movie playing with the horror genre?
Yeah.
So, like in the former category, American Werewolf in London and Shaun of the Dead are both kind of work as legitimate horror films, but have a lot of humor in.
Yeah.
Carry On Screaming, however, is clearly a comedy, sending up horror.
Yeah.
And this, I think, is kind of just in the middle of the two. But it is definitely more to the the conclusion I came to was actually it's neither. What this is a rock band movie.
Yeah,
and it's kind of it's like those Beatles films, the Elvis movies. There's been quite a few over the years where a band goes, "Hey, let's be in a movie." Yeah. And they choose to be in a very gory horror movie that was really daft and silly. And probably the kind of thing they've enjoyed on the tour bus. Let's do our own version. And that's probably what it really is, more than anything else, actually. But it is kind of, I think, Elton's right. I don't think it's trying to be gross. I don't think it's trying to be scary. It's very much kind of like it's horror almost like a la, Friday the 13th and those movies where, they're not trying to scare you, but you are meant to laugh at the kills because it is kind of, it's over the top and silly and in poor taste. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's very heavy metal, I suppose, in that respect. You know what I mean? It's dealing with stuff that on paper sounds horrendous, but in the movie you actually will laugh. Where the guy's head being taken off with a cymbal. Sounds on paper sounds appalling. Yeah. In the execution,
you can see the symbolism in that part, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
hey. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah. Because the thing is, I was watching it and I was thinking, oh, this is definitely a comedy first and foremost, because the whole opening 20 minutes. But you saying a rock band movie really does strike home, because I thought it reminded me of. This is not going to be a good comparison, but it reminded me of things like an episode of The Monkees.
Well, no, the Monkees did a very strange film called Head.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
No, that is probably actually a very good comparison. The Monkees.
Yeah.
I love that 2 responses there was, "Oh God, yeah."
oh fuck. Oh yes. Head.
Oh fuck no.
Oh,
reset the clock.
Yeah. Well, what's that Rolling Stones film where they made, which was just fucking out there?
Well, there was loads, wasn't there? There was the one with.
You're referring to the unreleased one, which is called Cocksucker Blues.
No, not that one. No, there was I'm pretty sure there was a Rolling Stones film that they released, which was just shit thrown together in.
There was. You're talking about Performance with
it might be that one.
Edward Fox and Mick Jagger.
Yeah, it might be that.
Oh, good Lord. Then don't worry, we will never review that film.
Thank
Trust me on that one. I haven't. No. There is not enough time in the day for me to bother about that.
So is your
McCartney one?
Give my regards to Broad Street. I was just going to say, is that your choice this week, Lee?
Give my regards to Broad Street.
Give your regards. I can wait another day.
Yeah, which is ironically what I can do as well.
Yeah. And another day, and another day, and another day.
Exactly. That
ad nauseum.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. The musical movie, and I was kind of expecting them to be a bit more like their pop videos, like overtly comedic, and running around a haunted house, almost sort of like you could say it would be like Scooby Foo.
Fucking hell.
You could say that, but nobody in their right mind would say that.
Hello,
No.
is that fumigation services? Yes, I'd like my. You're going to need to come and clean my flat. Somebody told a really bad dad joke, and it's just that's it. There's a
Stinking the
stink on
place up.
everything. Yeah,
Stinking the place
fuck
up.
me.
Oh, come on.
What
Anyway,
do you mean you could smell it down the phone? Yes, well, there you go. That's how bad it is.
what do you mean you're not turning up? It's not worth the money. Yeah, but it was just I was expecting that, and then when it then next thing you know, you got Jenny Ortega getting a fucking brickbat in the face and being dragged off with all her legs, and it's sort of like the gore went up to sort of 12, and I sort of was like, oh, okay, fine, right, we're in Evil Dead territory, and then it went back to was it Krug getting electrocuted in the most silly sort of After Effects out of the box lightning effects, and it was just like, oh right, okay, we're comedy again, and that was just it flip flopped backwards and forwards. It didn't seem to be a blending. It just seemed to be comedy and then not comedy and then comedy and then not comedy, and it kept me sort of at a distance, I think is probably the best way of putting it. Was everyone else perfectly fine with the comedy then, or the horror? It was just me.
Well, I think it is sort of uneven, but I think it's I felt it was more even on a second viewing, because it's kind of, when the second viewing, I kind of knew, all right, it's going. The horror it's bringing to the table is the kind of horror which sort of is funny anyway. It's the set piece kills from lots of cheesy slasher movies, and where it's just daft and over the top, and that's. And at the same time, they're doing it properly though, and trying to almost sort of like lovely homaging sort of thing. There's a couple of kills which are tips of the hat. The chainsaw beneath the bed kill is definitely, I'm thinking, a nod to a kill in Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday.
Oh right,
to name one. Right. And there's a couple of other notes going. It's a bit similar to another sort of kill is kind of, but turned up to 11 tap style.
Yeah,
and I think kind of they really wanted to do those old. The fact that so much of it is like practical effects as well is kind of you really going for that Reanimator 80s. So just more blood, more guts, throw them everywhere. Kind of.
I thought
how over
the
the top
opening.
Can we make it?
The opening titles did a lot of good for setting that kind of atmosphere for it. I thought.
The cold open.
Yeah, the actual the music for that for the titles at the beginning when they did the opening shot, the cold opening as you call it, and then they bring up the credits for the opening of the film, the title shot and whatever. I liked that piece of music and the way
by
they
John
did
Carpenter.
who was in the film.
Yeah, not a coincidence, definitely.
Exactly.
It's something I didn't pick up first time around. I thought it was John Carpenter, but watching it this time, oh yes, having a Carpenter score, yeah, it all makes sense now. I get it.
Well, even the Demon Dead Band was a nod to the Pirates in the Fog.
Yes, yeah, very much so. I mean, what I got from the second time, I did spot these things, and they're very good sort of homages because they're not like totally obvious. They are just kind of almost subliminal, and it's kind of, oh, hang on, I know what you're doing there. Well, good taste, nice one.
Yeah,
but that's kind of how you do it, rather than kind of let's rip off that scene and say it's a homage, which is a failing. They did it right here, if you know what I mean, and subtly. And the kind of the Carpenter score is kind of, yes, it's 80s splatstick. I'm there now. Got it. Yep. Got the memo.
Nice.
But I know the first time I was expecting more songs.
Mm.
And I did, even this time, there isn't much about the making of it. And I do wonder kind of, was it a case of they just wanted to make the kind of film they watched on the tour bus with them? Like, a home movie with a budget and a proper technical crew. Or maybe was there a plan for having music and then they just looked at the rights issues and just thought, oh, fuck it. Because musical rights issues are now a major pain in the ass. because everything's going to different streaming territories, it's different copyright, and if you've worked with several different record labels, it makes doing your greatest hits difficult, and just like, it's a nightmare. And maybe just thought, fuck it, let's not bother. Or they didn't really want to have that kind of full-on band, hey, let's stop and do a tune, sort of cheesy, old school sort of, pop band movie sort of vibe.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell, really, because they obviously were doing the music for it, and then they got John Carpenter in to do it. But yeah, it was a bit of a mix. I was expecting something, but then I did quite like the spending 3 days with the writer's block, and then suddenly going, I've got this, and then he plays he just plays Best of You, and then that's Everlong.
Dave, it was written about 9 years ago. It's called
20
Everlong.
years ago. 20 years ago. I was going to ask, Elton, I'm going to ask you, because you're the I know Darren's the fan, and Jim's the horror person. Well, and technically speaking, I guess you should be the muso of the group.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, it's just you're a little bit more. You kind of tend to lean a bit more musically in this kind of arena. I'm only saying that because I just wanted to bring you in on the conversation. If I'm honest.
Okay,
just don't worry about it.
Good nice.
Because I suddenly started thinking, no, actually, Jim's sitting there making the Eldritch Light Orchestra stuff. So what I'm talking out the top of my hat.
Seen Nirvana 3 times.
Exactly.
Yes, I know. Piss off.
It's all right. We've seen Pink Floyd. It's much cooler. Anyway, I was going to say, what do you think about bands in films and that sort of thing? Do you find if you watch a film that's not a documentary and there's a rock star or something like that in there, or a pop star, do you sit there and go, oh, great, it's a pop star, or do you cringe to fuck?
Cringe straight away.
Yeah?
Straight away, yeah. It's with anything, any sort of cameo like this, and I know this isn't like the cameo film because it is based around this band, but any sort of cameo that is not involving an actor cameoing, where it's a football star or a sports star or something along them lines, where it's clearly not a trained actor stepping on and going, hi, I haven't got anything to plug, but you look great. Have a good show. I hate it so much because it's so obviously just planted there, and it feels so awkward, and the film would just progress without that actually happening anyway. You don't need that sort of shit, but people like to see themselves on the big screen, and more power to them if they want to do that. Great, but I find it very jarring indeed.
And this. So, how did you handle this then in that respect?
Because it is based around this band, I don't mind. I wasn't expecting the band to be great actors. I thought they were all right. I thought they got through it. I think they had minimal lines in which to get through this whole thing. One shining light, though, I have to admit, and he's gone up in my estimations from punk rocker all the way up to this. Pat Smear.
Oh yes,
Really?
I thought he was
really fucking funny.
I thought he was really good. That moment where he's just laying on the island. He's like, well, I've got nowhere else to sleep.
It's the real one. He appears to see the legs and he pops his head over and the Willy Winky hat.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting it. And I think the last week at the very end, I said I'm looking forward to see what Pat Smear does.
Yeah.
And I thought he was possibly one of the best ones there.
Okay. There's dissent.
Yeah.
Over to Mr. Barnard.
Oh,
Dissent.
let's fight.
No, I've got to say the two that stood out that for me were the better actors in that. One, Dave Grohl, who seemed, there's like there's little difference between the other ones that are in it, but he seems a little bit further along. The one I was impressed with the most was with the keyboard player, Remy, because he's not actually an actor. That's it. When I first saw it, I thought I didn't recognise him, and it's like they've got a comedy actor in to play this fucking silly role, and it's like no, that's actually the keyboardist from the group, right? It's one of the ones that joined later on, does a lot of their concert stuff. And I was impressed with the way he seemed quite natural doing the sort of natural to acting for what he did. He was
in those Y fronts, natural.
Yeah, well, hey, are they mine? But I thought out of the
glad it wasn't
lot,
in 3D.
That's same here. Fuck me, you would have made you right with them, wouldn't you? But where the question of this is concerned, the whole thing about the irony of this film actually being made anyway. One of the first album I ever heard of theirs was an album called There Is Nothing Left to Lose, and the first track on that is called Stacked Actors. Okay, and I think the chorus goes stacked actors up to the rafters, line up the bastards, all I want is the truth, right? And asking about the actual song, Dave Grohl said it's about having nothing better to do than trying to be other people. It really grossed me out. Actors just in general make me fucking sick. So it's ironic that he's now coming in and actually appearing in a film and acting in it.
Well, there's always that kind of line between the thing you're trying to portray to push the vibe of your band and what you actually are. I find.
I'm pretty sure he said he didn't want to act in really in anything, maybe in music videos. But
I was going to say,
but time moves on though, doesn't it?
But he's been like the devil he's been the devil twice for Tenacious D. He's like in the film The Pick of Destiny, and also in Tribute. As well,
and some of his like some of the pop videos they do for the
like Learning to Fly, for fuck's sake. He plays 4 or 5 different roles in that video alone.
So you either got to go with he's spinning a line to sort of like show his rad credentials to Kerrang magazine, or he's actually a flat out liar. Which way do you want to go?
Well, he does say
it's also like, when did he say it? I mean,
this was
people
back
aren't monoliths
before
and
2000.
they change. Exactly. So
or that's when the album was released. But it basically it was mainly about his time spent in LA and Hollywood, and how he had an awful lot of fun, but he also had an awful lot of fun hating the entire time he was there, just because of how plastic and fake everything was.
Yeah, Well, it does it to all of us, man. Yeah.
Indeed. Become the thing we hate the most. Yep. It's nature. It's all nature. That's what it is. Looking into the abyss, and that it stares back at you.
Yeah, that fucking abyss.
That should we go all Ernest P. Worrell or whatever the hell? Was it Peter Cook's character?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Wisty. That's it. Yes. Be careful of staring into the abyss, that it doesn't stare back at you and make a comment on the cut of your suit.
Yes. So okay then. So getting away from the fact that we're cringy or not cringy about the actors. I was actually, let's go to you, Jim, before we move away from that subject. Did you feel different about them being in the band being actors and all that?
Well, I think kind of the film very sort of leans into is the wrong word, but the way the film was sort of set up, you're not expecting them to be anything other than themselves. But as actually the movie goes on, characters in the band actually emerge, and you do get performances like Chris's tantrum. The younger that Pat Smear gets funnier and funnier as the film goes on,
and does have the best scream of the entire film.
A smear that became a stain. Yeah.
But when they're all the demons are in the basement, and he just goes, they just start screaming. That was pretty darn funny.
And Remy, the keyboard player, I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Lover.
Yeah.
And he's all these new age vibration nonsense. He was really funny.
Yeah. I thought that was a reed warbler. You fool! It wasn't. It was a red-winged chaffinch. Yeah. Yeah. There was. I think for me with that, it was a hard thing to get over because I'm kind of watching them play parts which they kind of cast themselves in. So it's almost like you get that vibe of kind of like, hey guys, let's just put on a show. I'll be the mean one and you can be the hippie one. Oh, I'll be the cool one. Okay. It's just, and I couldn't get around some of that, especially with Dave Grohl when he's trying to play the tortured artist bit. Especially with Will Forte's character when he goes, "Oh my, you're the second best band after was it second best band after Coldplay?"
Coldplay. Is that?
Yeah. And he goes, and he just turns around and goes, "You know what I want? Runch. You best go back to the car." And no, actually, I'll do better. I'll stick with the Hollandaise. But some of that acting was kind of that. No, that wasn't that was just someone suddenly going, "Oh yes, you've got to be angry now," and he turns around and I'm angry now, and it's just.
But I think that plays into the style of the film, though. I think it has that forgiveness laid into it because it is a common horror thing.
But so when they start out, you're not really expecting too much from them, especially in the early scene, because they are just like standing around and mumbling. And you go, okay, this is where we are. And then it actually allows them to become characters as the movie goes on, and shows actually they can do more than just, I'm here saying the line, which is in the early scenes you get, oh, it's going to be, this might be a bumpy ride.
I've got to say though, guys, if we ever do decide to do a movie about Darren Diamond, then Chris Shiflett is fucking chewing for the role on that one. Yeah, your grandma really likes me. Yeah, do you remember the bar mitzvah party? Oh yeah, come and sit over here. Yeah. Oh,
Don't you say that about my noonie. Yeah, see that, and that's the thing. There was the bits that were between the group. It felt natural because they were kind of feeling like they were kind of they do that kind of shit anyway. It's sort of like playing off each other. But it's when it had to interact with an actual plot that the film kind of went off to the sides. It was like, I mean,
yeah, they can turn around and say, well, I can just play the drummer because I am the drummer. Let's just be the drummer. And that's fine. Playing the drums and doing the counting and no, only odd numbers now. 1, 3, 5, 7. Prime numbers.
Do it from 5 upwards. What, like a dancer? You would like I'm introducing a dance.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
See, that all worked out, but once it kind of cracks into, hang on, we have to do a movie scene now, then you can tell the difference between sitting around in a room saying the normal stuff you would say anyway, but it's written out, and then actually acting. There is a distinct difference there.
Well, it comes to something when the creepy lady behind next door neighbor and the manager actually outact the entire lot, and Will Forte outact the entire lot, and they're only in the film for like 20 minutes tops combined, I think. But every time they turn up, you're like, oh, an actor's arrived. Oh, thank fuck. Someone's actually going to act this scene. Though I did like when she first appears over the fence and she's trying to sing to them.
Oh yeah,
and he's
the
like,
best, the best, the best.
And then she just disappears behind the fence. It's sort of like she's down in a lift. She just sort of disappears down. And that was the thing. There was bits of the movie like that I thought really worked. And it reminded me, and this is going to be a deep cut, and I think only Darren might get this.
Go on, then.
Do you remember Hysteria?
Yes, I do.
Hello, my name's Ralph. And
You're all doomed.
It's a very old and obscure, weird obviously kind of some SNL skit that got made into a horror trope comedy. The film is entirely forgettable, but there are moments in it where you go, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life." And then there's
bicycle and the fucking truck.
And the truck, yeah, the bicycle and the truck. Oh no! and this film felt very similar to that, because you sort of like, there's bits I remember now as we were talking about it, and I think that was really funny. But what I'm cutting out in my head is the 20 minutes of doing nothing in particular but going around the band playing the instruments. It's like, really? I think we can take it as read that they've been playing for 4 hours or 20 hours or whatever it is, and just say, oh God, man, we've been playing for 20 hours. We don't need to have, oh, here's Dave Grohl playing the drums for another 10 minutes. Oh, here he is playing guitar for another 10 minutes. Here he is sitting there noodling on the guitar for another 10 minutes. It's like, for fuck's sake, we get it. He's a musician. We don't need to go into the method of it. Just skip. I mean, yeah. Did what was the problem with the pacing for you guys? Because everyone brought that up. So
I think it got faster the further we got on. I didn't mind the very beginning of it. It was setting the pace of it. It's kind of showing you where you are in the world. But yeah, it did. I think I've already said it though, that there are two distinct areas in this movie. You have the band and their collective and their rehearsal room banter, and then the movie itself. And there are two different paces there. And there's no bleed into each or the other. I think when Dave's on his own, he's going down into the basement and the plot is happening. That works pretty well. But there's no one to talk to or react with, I suppose. But I didn't really have a major problem with the pacing or anything. I think you're right. It is a little bit too long, but not too much. Maybe 15 minutes. Just nip a little bit here and there.
Either nip a bit out or have another sort of plot twist. One of the two. But I think you could have trimmed 15 minutes and just made it punchier.
I think so, yeah.
You go on. Sorry, Jim.
Well, I did look up the film, how it was actually started, then pandemicked, and then picked up again. It's kind of, that probably explains a certain amount of flabbiness, because it's kind of, Christ, we've got to get this done.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me the problem was that it didn't really know what to do with the plot, and it wanted to do the monkeys thing of, hey, we're all friends together, shooting the shit and being funny, and then, for the fans, and then the actual plot was, man gets possessed, does the Shining, kills off the gardener, or the gardener is him, and then basically promptly knocks off the rest of his guys, and that's kind of cool in and of itself, but it's like, that last 20 minutes of bollocks around the fucking swimming pool, just I must admit, I drifted off. I was gone by that point. Mentally, I was gone. I was away with the fairies.
Yeah, I don't think there was any need for that. I
couldn't give a shit with Jenny Ortega looking like Wednesday Addams holding onto a book while a load of badly done rotoscoped ghosts float around and a bloke just lies on his back by the side of the pool. It was just like, yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah. Oh, there's a twist. Yeah, okay. Everything just went. It just deflated entirely by the end.
It needed a bigger ending, I think.
And it needed to come quicker as well.
Yes, because we could see where it was going to go. I mean, the other thing on the second one, I did think, I think they could have played out the idea there was a mystery killer picking off the band before really revealing it being Dave. I think that could have.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, because that was the thing. There was never any doubt, and so the problem was it was just like, okay, so we're just waiting for things to happen now, and that kind of so it seems churlish to kick the fuck out of a comedy horror, if you want to call it that, but it's because the plot doesn't necessarily have to make sense. You have to just laugh at it, but you do kind of need it to kind of hit a conclusion and do it in a relatively quick way. It's like, yeah, we know who the killer is. Let's just get on with it, can we? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, you had your killer, and we knew who it was, but then you had all the story behind how he became the killer, and that had to be resolved. I think if you'd finished the film without maybe the other band turning up, then it would have felt a bit lackluster.
I don't know. I mean, and what's everyone else think? Because my point of view was, once we just said, you could have just written it off as the book told him a demonic musical note, and he had the note of L or whatever the fuck it was.
L sharp.
L sharp. Yeah. You don't tune it up, down, 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 shout. No, up, down, no, yeah, no, you're getting there. You're close. Fuck. But you know what I mean? It's just like, you could have just done the book did it, and just leave it at that. The whole stringing it along and tying it to some gardener who might be the band member, and it all just seemed unnecessarily kind of convoluted for what is essentially man becomes possessed and kills everyone.
Yeah.
It's just me. I don't know.
No, I think it's hard to pigeonhole it as well, isn't it?
It's not a bad film. I wouldn't say it was a bad film. I think it's definitely one of those midnight movies that you can easily see you coming home and flicking it on. You come home from the pub and turn it on, and you've got a kebab in your lap, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is the bit where he's fucking her and the chainsaw comes up. Isn't it funny? Or
do you know what? I had seen the Lionel Richie bit before though, which kind of took away the power of that moment. I wish I hadn't seen that before.
Well,
that was a bit of a rug pull for me in the cinema. It was like, Lionel fucking Richie?
Well, funny enough, my 16-year-old daughter, who is a bit of a metalhead, actually gave it away. I said, "Oh, I'm going to be watching this for the podcast." She went, "Oh, that's the one with the Foo Fighters and Lionel Richie." And I'm like, "What? Pardon? What? Excuse me, what?" It was still quite funny when it happened, though. It's my fucking song.
Yeah,
get your own fucking song, nerd. Yeah, I don't have an awful lot more to say about it, to be honest. I mean,
what about the deaths?
The deaths. Okay, over to our resident death appreciation team, Darren and Jim. Over to you guys. You have the floor. What do you think of the deaths?
I thought they were fun. I mean, they were kind of just nicely over the top, if you know what I mean, and just so silly enough not to be offensive, but over the top enough to still get a kind of, oh my god, and then you laugh sort of reaction, which is, pitch perfect. And I appreciated the practical old school effects. I mean, not to knock CGI as it plays, but thankfully, I think we've just passed the age of gore effect.
Yeah,
didn't work, and neither CGI being added to things. No, use the real stuff. It looks better. Although I'm sure there was digital enhancements done, but you still had the you could tell there was proper like latex and prosthetics and stuff like that, and that's what they were going for, and they nailed it.
Yeah,
cool. What do you think, Dal?
Yeah, I have to agree. Of course, there is always one death in this film that carries a little bit more weight now. It's Taylor Hawkins in this, and I have to sit there wondering...
Did he die due to a symbol in the face?
Well, no, it's just the fact that, you have to sit and wonder if Dave Grohl has gone back and watched this at all, or anybody connected with it has actually sat and watched this. And not that him dying in it is bad or anything like this. Of course, that's it. People die in real life. That's the part of life in general. But I just wonder how long it's going to be for them to go back and watch this because of that. It's quite...
It'd be a bit weird, I must admit. Because I said at the end of the last week's show, me and Teresa watched this, and the next morning, we got up and got the news he died. And it's like, God, that's so weird.
Well,
just a bit.
I guess the problem with that sort of thing is you can retroactively apply these things to and give them more meaning than they deserve. Because I mean, I saw a review of this last night after watching the film. I skimmed a review or two, and one review brought up the fact that they thought it was bad taste because it had a couple of members of the previous band suiciding. Given that Grohl's former bandmate Kurt Cobain committed suicide, do you know what I mean?
They can just fucking stop that right the fuck now.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
I know, but you know what I mean. It's just like you can attribute. What I'm trying to say is you can attribute meaning to things, regardless. I don't think I think Taylor Hawkins' death, while sad, it does. I don't think it impacts on the film at all, or really. If you look back on it,
talking about. Well, I mean, you've mentioned the whole thing about this reviewer saying about band members committing suicide. Just a bit of trivia where that's concerned. Reading the Storyteller by Dave Grohl recently, got it as a present for Christmas, and there is a bit where he talks about the death of Kurt Cobain, and well, it wasn't actually the death; it was the first time he overdosed, and he got told that he'd actually died, right? So he started processing the grief, and then he got a phone call by someone saying, "Oh no, we got it wrong. He's actually still alive." And from that moment on, that left a scar with him, with everyone else that he hears about dying. He's always waiting for that telephone call now to tell him that actually a mistake was made where that was concerned. So, yeah.
Oh, right.
There you go. Sorry, that was a little bit of thing. I just thinking about that. We mentioned about the whole thing of this reporter saying, well, I think it's in bad taste. No, it fucking ain't. And I think Dave Grohl would turn around and probably tell him to fuck off as well. Yeah. Well, if I got to be honest. Yeah. Just no. Stop it.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, you can attribute meaning to anything if you're looking for it. So, I think, I wouldn't go looking for that at all, to be honest. Yeah, like I say, I haven't got an awful lot to say more about it. The only thing other I would say is I did like, and I wished I'd seen more of that, which is the comedy stuff when they were thinking back to what Dave had been doing to work out the possession.
They could have really gone to town with that.
Exactly, and I think that's probably part of the reason why I had such a lukewarm response to it, because there was the last 5 minutes of, what's his name? I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was Pat, and then there was, oh God, who's the other one? Pat and Chris. Yeah. Chris Shiflett. No, not Chris, because Chris got grilled, didn't he?
Nate,
it was
Nate Mendel.
Yeah, Nate and Pat, and they're sort of hiding with the book, and they're going, right, we have to establish whether or not he was possessed. And they go through each of the bits, and then they keep flashing back to all these things that Dave's done that they just wrote off. And there was one bit where he just floated in behind them, and then just kind of he was clearly on strings, and he just kind of floated in and went, "Fucking carry on working," and it just floated back out again.
Nate Mendel was like, "Oh, Pat Smear's just
what?" Exactly. And it was that kind of thing I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed those moments of kind of like really go properly arch with the crazy comedy.
Yeah.
Like I say, when Pat got his legs grabbed by the demons and he's going, "Hey, fucking help me, fucking help."
When Pat got his head run over as well. But then you've also got that that Fargo moment.
Oh, with Dave
The
throwing
wood
all the
chipper.
bits in the wood chipper.
He high fives him as well just before.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. There's all these kind of like the real high camp nonsense comedy was a lot more effective. I mean, even just the little gags with like Dave, where Dave's going, "Oh, I'm something of a cook myself," and then everyone's just looking at him like, "Really?" And then he's, and then it cuts to him grilling the meat, and there's like these 4 burgers, and they're like literally burnt to a crisp, and he just turns them over and closes the lid.
I
It's
love
like
that little
another 10
comment.
minutes.
That little comment he makes when he's possessed, and he goes, "Chris was right. He really does make a good barbecue."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that sort of thing, that kind of gags, I really dig. That's my sort of humor. But the rest of it, where it's just kind of like, sort of like mugging for the camera, wasn't really my thing. Though Pat Smear knocking on the door, going, "It sounds like it sounds like you're trying to stick Jello in a pot or something. Or you're trying to beat a jellyfish to death." What are you doing in there? Sounds like you're trying to beat.
Oh yeah, fucking yeah, constant masturbation.
Yeah, constant masturbation. No, that could just be Dave. That was the undecided one, wasn't it? It's only when they suddenly thought about him floating in that they suddenly went, "Oh yeah, he could be possessed."
I do have a question, because I'm aware of the Foo Fighters. I never got into them though. I think that's my reluctance of, well, hang on, Dave Grohl's starting a band. It was Nirvana a moment ago. I'm not having that. So maybe that's my problem with it. But there was a tiny reference, and I saw the ray gun.
Yes, that was it off the first album.
Yeah.
Foo
Evil
Fighters.
Empire.
Yeah.
I saw that. Was there any other little references knocked around there?
Oh, blimey.
Because I
only
don't think I
spotted
would
that one.
recognise any.
I only spotted that one, if I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Nobody got hit over the head by a monkey wrench
No.
or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not as far as I knew. Though I know that some of the background characters and the roadies and stuff were band members of other bands.
Oh yeah, the guy who played
Krug.
He's actually the lead guitarist of Slayer, or he was.
Yeah.
And what was the other
Also,
band?
the name Krug is the name of the villain in notorious film Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
Very
So
good.
there was lots of little.
There's lots of little things. So I was saying about the homages, but there were, I think they did say, like, they named that character after someone. If you know, you go, that's not a coincidence. But they didn't name every character after someone in a horror film.
No,
Yeah.
but
No.
You know what I mean? And didn't lay on too thick. And there's lots of just little things. Like the ray gun is kind of, that's a little Easter egg, but we're not going to do every album cover.
yeah. Though when Will Forte rocks up with his ranch at the first with the stuff
Bone
at
Structure CD.
the Bone Structure CD, but also when you see there's the shot when he climbs up the stairs and he's standing there against the light, and it's like the Exorcist poster, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's lots of little things like that I thought were really nicely done.
I mean, I spotted a lot more second time around, and it is kind of there's more going on here than it is. You know, it is quite a broad film, but there's lots of little things that are really quite subtle, which I really really appreciated. And it's kind of okay, nice work, lads.
Yeah. It's much better than what I thought it was going to be. And
Yeah.
I don't think I ever would have watched it if it wasn't for this. So, yeah. Cheers, Darren.
Yeah, I agree. While it wasn't my favourite comedy I've ever watched, it certainly didn't. It did. I still had a laugh. I still laughed at it, but I think if I watched it again, I'd probably bail after the sort of like once Pat Smear gets up with his little wee Willy Winky hat on, I think that'll be where I kind of would stop watching it, because the rest of it's kind of like a long drag to get to the gag of, get to the symbols gag and get to the under the stairs gag.
I thought something else was unintentionally funny about Pat Smear as well, because he's like 10. He's the oldest member of the Foo Fighters, right? He's like by 10 years, and so everyone else is looking a bit like a rock star, and he's standing there looking like Grandad at C&A.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's got his cardigan on.
Like was it Charlie Watts vibes, doesn't he?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, actually, so did hold on, is it Nate?
Yeah, Nate Mendel, the bass player,
going round in his Starsky and Hutch long jumper. So they were all there was loads of little sort of stuff where they were taking the piss out of each other. Especially the I did like the little nod with sort of like, all we need you to do is just to keep him busy and go and fuck up another drum solo. That shouldn't be too hard for you. It's like shit like that. It was just like those little back and forths. You kind of feel like that's them.
Yeah.
That's the gags, and I like that. But you needed a bit more of that for me. But okay. Well, anything else, chaps, before we wrap it up?
No, not really. Although I am looking forward to doing the Black Dog movie now. That's clearly got to be on the scene, hasn't it?
Well, Black Dog movie.
Oh God, what we all go in to watch a film in a haunted cinema?
No, we make a film.
Oh, that Why not?
Let's not.
Let's do it.
I tell you.
I've got an idea for it already. I've already got an idea.
Have you really? Go on.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think we should. Fucking milk a current trend until its teeth squeak, and that's go multiverse. Right? Okay. I've got an idea.
A multiverse, a multiversal Black Dog. What would
that be? Well, it's actually the multiverse comes to us.
Really?
You see, it would be us from a multiverse going through, trying to be popular in every single part of the multiverse.
We aren't popular in this part of the multiverse.
I know,
we're not.
We're not. So it should be easy. Yes.
This feels like an episode of Community. Have you thrown 6 dice and created the darkest timeline?
In infinite universes, there's one where I'm Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's also one where you're Robin as well.
This is true. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well.
Fuck! I got the Robin one.
Which Robin though? The one that gets beaten to death by the Joker, or the? Never mind. Right. Okay. Let's just draw a veil over it.
One with bat nipples.
Oh God, bat nipples. Yeah, there is an episode. There is a universe where Darren has a bat credit card.
Oh, don't you fucking dare!
He sits there with big posters of Batman Ninja on his walls, going, "Greatest movie of all time."
Fuck you, Metcalf. Fuck you.
Wait until you see what I've got to pick. Oh no, Batman Ninja! Here we go.
Don't you dare pull the fucking trigger on that one.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just say that if anybody has any feedback for Studio666 or this episode in any kind of way, and that includes mad post was it postal stuff, was it stuff trash mail, trash mail. If you want to make a Black Dog movie, multiverse movie, by all means send it in. We won't read it, just send it in.
Oh, plots please.
Yeah, plots. By all means, send them all in, either to the feedback at blackdogpodcast.com or drop it on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Right. Here we go. I have a few movies to pick from. Now, like I say, people are kind of surprised that I wasn't going to go for a bad one, because I feel like I've got a bad rap on this sort of thing. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll throw it again. Maybe I'll go with the flow. Try and bring up a good film. And, in the green room, I said to Jim, I had 2 from the 70s that I wanted to have a look at, because I haven't seen them for God knows how long. And then if worse comes to worst, and everyone was so shocked about me picking a reasonable film, quote unquote, then I did have a bad one on the back burner. So, quick round the table. Good or bad, Darren?
Let's go for a good. Go on.
Jim?
Good.
Elton?
Good.
Oh, right, okay. Sons of bitches. Okay, right, in which case, we're going to go for something not in our usual sci-fi horror wheelhouse. We're going to go back to the 70s, and we're going to go to Amazon Prime, and we're going to go to The Taking of Pelham 123.
Oh.
Boom. Walter Matthau and Robert Shaw.
Very nice.
The Taking of Pelham 123. Because I haven't seen that film in absolute donkey's ages. And I remember the last time I saw it, I quite enjoyed it. But that was back in the 70s, early 80s. Now, the last time I said that, we ended up with Prison Ship Star Slammer, so I feel like I'm karmically balancing things here. So, let's go around the table. Darren, have you seen Pelham 123?
Surprisingly, no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I know of it, and I know what it's about, but I've never actually seen
the original film.
I've never actually seen the original film.
Okay. Well, it's on Amazon Prime. Okay, so there you go. What about you, Jim?
Yes, I'll catch your train.
I'll take the cab. the station.
I have seen this many
thing.
years ago. I've not seen it for a long time, so
okay.
I'm quite looking forward to going back to this.
Okay. Elton?
I've only seen the remake.
With John Travolta and Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, there you go. There's a perspective for you. Cool. Well, like I say, I haven't seen it since the very late 70s, early 80s, because this came out in 1974, I think. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see this. I know someone who usually listens, Sean McGowan. He likes this film as well. It is a typical New Yorker kind of movie, as I understand it. But that's from my vague memory. So yes, so we will be doing The Taking of Pelham 123. It's on Amazon Prime. Do you want to know what the other 70s movie was, or shall I leave that until next time?
Confessions of a Window Cleaner?
You fucking guessed it.
There we go. Yes, good old British sex comedy. I say that.
Especially after we got retweeted by Robin Asquith after bringing him up in one podcast about
Did we?
Yeah.
You did, a long time ago. Yeah, when I saw him in Panto.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jim saw him in Panto. We mentioned it on the podcast, and then someone retweeted it to him, who immediately retweeted it.
Fuck.
And we got almost an extra 3 listens out of that.
Wow.
Out of that fantastic endorsement.
We need more fucking slide whistles in this podcast. That's what we need. Right?
Yeah, and people going, whoa.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so no Robin Asquith this week. Anyway, so yes, there you go. Oh, by the way, I forgot the phrase. Gosh, what phrase? I tell you what, we'll go around the table. We'll pick a good phrase. So go on then, Jim. Say a word, just one word. First word that comes to mind.
Symbol.
Like Darren, say a word.
Butter.
Okay, Elton.
Vomit.
Okay, and I'm going to say peanuts. So, peanut symbol vomit is your phrase for this week. Peanut symbol vomit.
No butter.
no butter. That's it. Peanut symbol vomit with butter. Peanut symbol vomit with butter.
Christ, it's almost like one of those World War II films where they've got a code phrase across the radio to start an attack. Which orders is it going? I don't know.
I feel like a sleeper agent has just been activated somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a number station in it. Well, they're listening
Go to
us.
Berlin on the midnight train. Ask for Alec Guinness.
Souvenirs, novelties,
parties.
Actually, that's our phrase. Souvenirs, novelties, and party tricks. There you go.
Don't forget your phony dog pull. What phony
dog pull? In the Virginia Slims tournament, I always root against the heterosexual. Right. Anyway. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Yes, I don't know what phrase we ended up on there, but souvenirs, party tricks, souvenirs, novelties, party tricks. Yes. So, thank you very much for listening. But before we go, let's head over to Pimp's Corner and find out what's happening on Hypnagoria Land. Jim, what's happening there?
Yes, this week I've just released a reading of a classic H.P. Lovecraft tale, The Unnameable.
Ah, nice. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. And that's over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Lovely. And over at Rogue 2 Media?
I am talking about cars going round in circles, which is good. The season has starts this Saturday, but we had our infamous liveries episode recently, and we're also talking about Masters of the Air. That's still going.
Yeah. Have they reached Castle Grayskull yet? I'm not going to stop asking that question until you tell me the answer.
Is it getting uncomfortable yet?
No, not yet. I could go for hours.
Let's leave it just for a bit more.
Okay, cool.
Tetsu!
Anyway. Right, that's that. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And as ever, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next week for taking the only tube train that has a real reason for being late, the taking of Pelham 123. Until then, take care. Tatty bye. Oh, it is definitely the old one, not the new one. Now I've said that. Now you can go. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Oh, bollocks to it.